National Signing Day is coming up, and one thing we were curious about is how recruiting's going so far regionally and then throughout the state.
Well, I think it's going well. I mean, anytime you have a change in coaching staff, it's going to be behind some, and we're having to make up some ground, and but I think we've made up some. I'm very pleased with the mid-year guys that we got in, and very anxious for this stretch run that's going to take us up to signing day. I mean, we got a lot of work to do, and there'll be a lot of long days and long nights of trying to convince these kids that Arkansas State is the best fit for them. But we're very, optimistic and looking forward to it. And I think I think we're being well received, and the energy level's good. But you never really know until it comes down to the end.
Well, and you talk about long days and long nights. What's an average week like for you now that you're a head coach of a Division I football program and you're trying to go through the recruiting thing? What's an average week like for you right now?
Well, for example, next week, we go back to contact. Well, let's start today. Today we've got 18 young men coming in for official visits, so we'll be busy all night tonight, all day tomorrow and tomorrow night, and then Sunday we'll finish up with them Sunday morning. I'll go to church with my family. Then that night we'll probably, I haven't said it yet, but we'll be in someone's home Sunday night, and on the road Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and at night getting in as many homes of kids we've offered that I can with the assistant coach that is recruiting that young man. And then be back on campus Friday for another official visit weekend, and do the same thing there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, go to church with my family and get back on the road for that last week out. And then our last weekend will be that 28th, and then it goes dead, and we'll hopefully get some great faxes in on February the 2nd.
All right, yeah. Well, when you're out talking to these players and these high school kids, what are some of the things that maybe you let them know about ASU that persuades them to choose ASU over these other schools, or maybe even from going to other conferences?
Well, every kid is different, and everyone, our recruiting coach that recruits them has to have a good feel, hopefully, for what that kid needs to hear, wants to hear, and what angle we need to go after that kid at. There are some generic things that we talk about with every kid, and it's really surrounded by three things, and it's about making the right decision for your future. And number one, I think you should choose a university that provides, the academic opportunity for success for you. And then I show them, of course, our stats that Coach Roberts has done a great job with, and us winning the academic award 7 out of the last 8 years, and us graduating over 70% of our football players. So I think we, in the decision-making process, we satisfy that. And secondly, I think they should choose the university that provides you with athletic opportunities to succeed, and that's where we have to it's based on what position they play and how many NFL guys we have in that, or what type of offense they fit best in, or what type of defense, or what position. So that one we have to decide, how we're gonna go after the kid as far as the athletic opportunity, and part of that's the depth chart and our need for that spot. And then thirdly, we talk about choosing the right environment for you, and we're going to base our program here off of a family type atmosphere, and we're going to build it on faith and attitude and mental toughness and integrity and love, and so we talk about the environment, but that's the shell of kind of how we go about it.
Well, I guess we can talk about on the field a little bit. Last year everybody was really excited about the offense and putting up a lot of points, and I'm sure they're expecting a lot of the same this year. Should we expect any changes offensively in philosophy or
no,
anything like that?
No, not at all. We'll keep the same system in place and hopefully can go faster. That will be our goal, and the second year in it, hopefully we'll be a little more. The biggest concern offensively is we lost all the offensive linemen, so that's a concern. But but we've got to do a great job recruiting and some of the younger kids here develop them and get them ready. Everybody else is coming back, on offense for the most part, except for the offensive line. So it'll be the same system.
Well, and one of the guys coming back, the quarterback Applin, since you got here, right about a year ago, how has he progressed since you first got here a year ago?
Well, it's really hard for me he didn't get to go through spring last year, and so the system was brand new to him in fall camp, and I thought he did a tremendous job for having that short of time in it. So it's really hard for me to tell you how he's progressed. I think from year one in it to year two will be the great baseline to judge it on, but I thought he grasped it really well and improved from week 1 to week 12. But again, I'm real anxious to see how he'll do, and I think Philip Butterfield's going to push him also, and that competition will only make both of them better.
Well, with you were hired. It's coming up about right on a year now. What was your initial impressions of the Red Wolf program when you were hired then? Mm-hmm. And then has it changed any within this year that you've been here?
Well, being from this area, in the Memphis and North Mississippi area where I spent my coaching career, I had great respect for Arkansas State and the job that Coach Roberts had done, because I'd followed them. It's a natural progression to follow the schools in your area, and boy, they just were always, seemed like when they played a big school, were right there and giving them great competition and sometimes pulling off a big win, and knew they were very, very close, and just always had heard such great things about Coach Roberts. And when he called me at San Jose and the opportunity to come back home, it was something I couldn't refuse, and working for him was an absolute joy. He's one of the finest men I've ever been around in this profession, and it was a difficult deal because I hurt for him and his family, that they hurt at the same time that I'm benefiting from his hurt, so to speak. And so that was very difficult because I have great respect for him, and again, think he's a phenomenal coach and man. And but as far as after I've gotten it, nothing. The support's been tremendous. The fans, the energy that's out there is great, and everybody just wants to see us do really well on the field, and hopefully we can continue the success that Coach Roberts had off the field in the classroom, and even build to newer heights on the field. So he's laid a great foundation here. It's not like we have to start from scratch. We're really close, and hopefully we can get a couple recruiting classes and put us over the edge.
Well, with being as close as we are, where do you see this team this year going a year from now? At the end of next season, where do you expect the Red Wolves to be?
We're open and honest about the fact that we want to go bowling. That's the number one goal. Winning the conference championship is the second goal, but we want to start by putting us every year in a bowl game somewhere. For our young men, I really want it for these seniors. We'll have a lot of seniors next year, and they just got back to school, and we've had a great talk, and hopefully their commitment level is shown in the off season. But we want to end up in a bowl game.
Okay, and then I guess one thing that everybody's interested in right now is the coaching staff, and you've made a couple of hires on the defensive side with Coach Allen, and do you have any ideas on who the new defensive coordinator may be?
Yeah, I've got some great ideas. I'm not at a point that I want to talk about it because it just recruiting is going to. That's a lot of people think, well, when new coach needs to get everybody in place. Well, it's a little different here in the fact that we're going to honor the contracts of those guys that were here, and recruiting has taken so much of my time. And the last thing that I've been told by my mentors is just take your time in hiring the staff. And I just want to get it right and get the best fit for our kids and our university, and right now I don't have enough time to put into it because of recruiting and how much I want to be involved in the recruiting process. So I have talked with a lot of great candidates, but it's probably going to be after recruiting before I finally make the final decision.
Okay. And then, yesterday there was talk that, Franken was kind of leaning on maybe going pro or doing whatever he was thinking about doing. And then, I've heard that you talked to him yesterday, and now he's going to stay at ASU. What would you like to comment on the conversation you had yesterday with him, or?
Yeah, it was actually my days run together. I think it was Wednesday night, but I don't think he ever had the intention of going pro, and I don't know. I do know Dwayne is Framp's a great young man, and I love him, but sometimes he has drama swirling around him. But we just had a great talk, and talked about our plans and our goals, and as far as I know, he's all in here. So I don't know what all he says on those Twitter things, and we've talked about those things, but that's just, some receivers sometimes debate those things when he had the year he had, but I don't think he was ever real serious about leaving us.
Well, I guess one of the other things I wanted to ask you about, we're putting together kind of a series called "Why Do You Love Football?"
Yep.
And, we've talked to quite a couple of coaches, and then whether it's high school, college, we've talked to a couple of media reporters and stuff like that. And so, one thing, or the last thing I wanted to ask you was if you could just give me, just a little bit about why you love football.
Oh, man, I love it because of the relationships that are built and the opportunity to impact the young men that you coach. The competitive spirit in all of us is also a part of it to when you're on the field and practice or games competing. But ultimately, I hope it always comes down to the relationships that you build with the staff and with the players, and knowing that you have a chance to impact their lives. So I think that's my calling in life right now, and that's why I enjoy it.
Well, great. Well, I can't thank you enough for taking time to sit down and talk to me. And
hey, you got it, man.
Best of luck this year, and I guarantee you I'll be. I know there's 6 home games this year, and as long as my 6-month-old daughter will allow me to make them. Yeah.
Oh, you got it, man. Hey, thanks for your support.